Hi, so this week's topic of discussion in our class is suicide and how to assess that in the school setting. So this video will discuss tools and techniques that school counselors can use to assess suicide on their students. So one of the questions that I wanted to address is what you do when you suspect that a student wants to harm themselves. There are a few things that you can do. Gather some surrounding information from teachers, school staff, administrators, etc. Talk to your student with genuine empathy and concern for their well-being. Gather background information from them. And also, you might want to discuss limits of confidentiality with them so that they know that you might have to report some things to others just to ensure their safety if anything is reported that needs parent attention or assistance from an administrator. Some specific questions that you would ask your student who is suicidal is if they're thinking about suicide. One question might be, have you been thinking that you want to be dead, or do you have wishes of wanting to be dead? Another question would be, do you have a plan? Have you ever thought about how you might want to kill yourself? Do you have means to carry out your plan with you here at school or at home? Do you have a specific setting or place that this would take place? And then some other questions would revolve around the immediate protective action plan or the safety planning that you would do with the administrators at your school and the parents. So I did a little research and found that the Columbia Suicide Severity Rating Scale might be an appropriate tool for me to use for high school students. The scale is pretty in-depth. It's a 2-page scale list of questions. I liked that it was very thorough, but on the other hand, it is a little long and in-depth. It's not a brief assessment. That assessment also discusses lifetime symptoms, attempts, behaviors and thoughts. There's a section on there for additional symptoms and behaviors just to note. And another thing that I liked about the assessment is that it's available in over 100 different languages. So there are many uses for this assessment if you have children who don't speak English or need additional support in that way. So I think that those are some things that would be helpful for school counselors to take into consideration when assessing children for suicide.